Hi, Misha here, and it's been a little while since I've done a Blackbox. Here, a month or two ago, kind of was in the mood for them, did several in a row. But this month, I just haven't been in the mood. I don't know. Not to not make videos, I've been making videos, just haven't felt a whole lot about talking. I think I feel boring right now. Do you ever have that? When you're not depressed, you're not happy, you just kind of feel boring. People call you on the phone, ask how things are going, and you want to make small talk with them, and you just think about it and you don't really have anything to report. It's kind of how it's mostly been. Also, we're going to see how the mic handles this. The swing is very creaky. I've oiled it and oiled it, but the fact is, it's just so hot and dry here that I don't think any amount of oil will make it not creak right now. It doesn't like the summertime either. And we've had a heck of a summer. And you know, in the beginning, May and June, we had unseasonably cool weather. And I thought we were getting really pretty lucky. Even 4th of July was not too bad. But the second half of July and August have just been brutal. We've set record highs. And I think that's sapped a lot of energy and just desire out of people to do anything. We had a good week and a half of 100-degree weather in July. And now here in August, and really the second half of August, which is usually when it starts cooling down, maybe not cool or cold, but you know, cooling down where it's not blazing hot. That feeling's actually bugging me, even if the mic's not picking it up. I'm not really sure. But anywho, but here we've had 2 weeks coming up of weather where it's been hot. In my hometown, it got to nearly 110. Here, it got over 100, and that's, well, again, it's set records, so that should tell you it's not what we normally have. Now, for those of you living in a desert, that might not sound too horrible. And I agree, there's areas where 100 degrees is not nice, but it can be a lot hotter. But please consider that here where we live, the humidity is atrocious. Truly, truly terrible. And yeah, I just don't know about that. Just don't know. So anyway, thought I'd do a little update Blackbox. Sorry if I'm boring, but it's kind of been life. And you know, upon reflection, I have to admit, August has kind of been in my top couple of least favorite months my entire life. How about you? Do you have months that generally you kind of like and don't like? I don't know. Lack of any other better topic. Let's talk about that. I came out to the other swing in the yard. Let's see if this one's quieter. It is. It's kind of funny that the one under the porch is louder than the one out in the weather. I don't know. Yep. Anywho. But yeah, I don't know. August has never been my favorite. I'm not a, I don't want to say I'm not a summer person. I think any American kid likes summers for what they represented when we were young. You know, that much time of being out of school is pretty great. But of course you get older and that slowly goes away. Also, when I first went to college, August was, you know, nerve-wracking a little bit, but pretty exciting too, going. And now that's gone. So yeah. I think by this point I'm tired of the heat of summer, and this one, it lulled us into a false sense of security. We've had a lot of storms too. Walking out here, I still picked up some branches. It's been a very wet August too, which just adds to the humidity. Basically, we would get a week of rain and then 100-degree heat just to really bake it up good. It's basically Dagobah here. But I've always liked fall. Don't know. Keeping with the boring theme, I don't know, I'll talk about some months. January was never one of my favorites. As a kid, you know, Christmas is over, going back to school. Ironically, as an adult, in some ways I've grown to like it more. It's still kind of in the bottom tier for me. But I used to really have fun doing New Year's parties, and Christmas and all that. And then when it was over, it was a bit of a letdown. But oh well. The weather here can be very temperamental in January. Sometimes unseasonably warm, sometimes cold and icy. I will say though, February has kind of become my least favorite month. A lot of not good life experiences have happened to me in February. And at that point, yeah, it's kind of bleak. You've had winter enough. It's still been dark. And just not much going on. Not much to be excited about. I never really cared for Valentine's Day. Luckily, I never really dated anyone that really gave a shit either. Come to think of it, most people I dated were never into holidays in general. I mean, they celebrated them, but they were never really big into making a big deal out of their birthday, Valentine's Day. But no, February is probably my least favorite month. A lot of not nice things have happened there. March. You always expect March to be warmer than it ends up being. You think, oh, spring's here. And sometimes, yeah, but around here, sometimes winter hangs on through March. But it's nicer. The days are getting longer, which I do like. I think that's my favorite part about summer, are the longer days. But, yeah, not a whole lot of memories in March either. When I think of April, I like April more. I kind of like the spring thunderstorms we get here. I like storms in general. And, you know, solidly getting into springtime, longer days. Never much like April as a kid, because, you know, end of term was coming, but also final exams and everything, so you knew there was a lot. Projects were due, papers were due, so April was never a month I got to enjoy a whole lot when I was young. So as an adult, it's kind of nice not to have that big thing going on, if you know what I mean. But yeah, and then you get to May. Not my favorite month, but I've got a lot of good memories from May. Of course, getting out of school. I remember when we'd first get out of school and then friends would come over or go over to their houses, and you didn't have to worry about, is it a school night or not? You could just kind of do your thing. Usually didn't go on vacation then, but it was a time to really start planning vacations. Of course, I remember graduating. When I worked at high school, where I did, we pretty much our finals and everything were done in April. We technically graduated in May, but you were let out of school as a senior a couple of weeks before graduation. So that was a good time. I had it was pretty much just a party month that May. In fact, yeah, we went to Cancun as a class trip. And another time Went to some concerts. And of course, university getting out. Yeah, no, May is nice. And of course, spring weather coming, the longer days. May is one of those months that is over too quickly. I like the weather. Good shooting weather too. I definitely think June is my favorite month of the summer. Around here it's not too terribly hot. And the summer's new and you get the longest days. So that's nice. It's still in the hot weather, even if it is warm, it's refreshing. It's not hot. And that was the time you go swimming and everything. And as a kid, June was great because you had the whole summer still ahead of you. The whole summer. So June had a lot of possibilities and just going places. And I remember goofing off with a lot of friends growing up. Also in college, I did take some summer classes, a couple of summers, and had a lot of fun. I won't say we goofed off in those classes, but I think everyone automatically got at least a C because we were voluntarily there. So you'd have to really fuck up in a summer class to not at least pass it. And it wasn't that much harder to get a B or an A. Because again, the professors kind of just gave you automatic curve up for signing up and showing up for summer class. I took astronomy one June, and I like that professor because he partnered me with two girls, very attractive girls, didn't know jack shit about science. That was a good June. It was indeed, and we had to have night meetings too, and they had to come get me and drive me home and stuff. Yeah, good times. Moving on, I guess. July, the mixed bag month. I like 4th of July a lot. And the first week or two is fine. But it's after that I'm getting a little tired of summer. And usually the second half of July was the hottest time in Arkansas, where I grew up. And even today, obviously, it's still there. August was known for being dry and just persistently hot. July was more like, okay, you get some storms, and it would peak at 100, 110, but then you might also get some days where it dipped down into the 80s. August was, fuck you, it's going to be sun, no rain, high of 95, every frickin' day for a month. It was just very unvaried weather growing up, and oh, that got boring. And of course, yeah, July, if you go on vacation and go north, it was the perfect time to leave. But then you also knew, hey, summer's halfway spent, and if you had to walk anywhere, I remember walking to class or to work, God, that was miserable. I remember one time me and the dog walked home, and we were just so exhausted and disgusting. It was like 4 in the afternoon, about the hottest time of the day. I just flopped down on the floor. He just walked over and just peed. He never did that, but you know, that's one thing dogs do when they get to the point of heat exhaustion, is they just relieve, they let out heat. And I couldn't even get mad. I'm like, yeah, I feel you. He's just like, yeah, now that I'm cooled off, my bladder just went. But, yeah. I think I remember we just sat there and watched Stargate for like 3 hours because it was on Sci-Fi after that point. That would have been about the year 2003, give or take. 3, 4. I was in grad school. And yeah, then we get to August. Probably my second least favorite month. Yeah, I'm going to say second least favorite, following February. I still like that the days aren't short, but they are getting shorter. The weather's disgusting. There's never been a nice August as far as I can remember. And when you're a kid, it's going back to school time. When I was in elementary school, we didn't have air conditioning either. Now back then, it was cooling off by the end of August, and we were really only going back to school right around Labor Day. so it wasn't too bad. You had like 1 or 2 weeks of heat, and then it cooled off. Nowadays, it can stay hot through October here. How about where you guys live? Then we get to September, though. I can't say I have any major outstanding memories of September, but also nothing bad. A lot of camping trips. When I was a kid, I remember that's the weather. You still probably would wear either short sleeve shirts or a light long sleeve shirt and then pants. But I remember camping a good amount in that time of year. Again, the days aren't terribly short yet. Towards the end of the month, you might start building fires. Again, years ago, not now. Usually now it's still hot. But that was the last gasp of summer. And there's something melancholic about September that I like. It also reminds me of that REM song. Super bonus points if you know the one I'm talking about. But yeah, that was also the time when you went back to school, you kind of buckled down. And if at work, if you had anything to do with the holidays, that's when really the Christmas rush started. You know, you started prepping for the Christmas end of year quarter. So I kind of think of September as the time when work gets serious. Seems like work's always a little more lighthearted in the summer for a lot of jobs, but come September, nope, it's really at the grind, and it just ramps up through the next few months. But no, I like September just fine. I'm looking forward to it in the next couple of weeks, frankly. Please, 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 can we have a fall this year? That would be amazing. Now we come to October. Quite possibly my favorite month. I love fall. It's getting cooler, but it's not ice cold yet. The days are short, but not ridiculously so. A lot of good memories as a kid. Again, kind of camping out, doing stuff out. You could really have fun. We used to really have a lot of fun with Halloween parties. And of course in school, when the football team and everything, there was a lot of that going around and hanging with friends on the football team and drinking afterwards and going on road trips and stuff. But no, I like the crisp air that fall at least purportedly brings. I'm not sure anymore if it's going to give us that, but maybe. But yeah, generally speaking, I'd say it's my favorite month, with up to this point probably May coming in second. November is not bad at all. I like November, but yeah, it's very variable weather here, and it's hard to say. It can get a little bleak around here in November, but not bad. Definitely would take it over summer. And then of course December. I mean, obviously most everyone has memories for December because of all the holidays, not just Christmas and New Year's, but yeah, all the Christmas memories come up for then. From a little kid, I was kind of lamenting that the other day. From being really little, I pretty much remember every Christmas from the age of 3 on. I remember my 3rd birthday party, and my birthday is only a couple months before Christmas, so I remember that. I believe that would have been a G.I. Joe Christmas. When I was a kid, the little G.I. Joes were just coming out, the 3 3/4, but still plenty of 12 inches around, either secondhand or still kind of in, stores where they've been sitting there for a minute. Matchbox cars, things of that nature. Star Wars, that's another one. I Definitely had more than a few Star Wars toys for Christmas. Good times. Yeah, another thing I liked about Christmas season 2 was friends being able to come over and stay again, or going sledding with my cousins. You know, just, being with family. I'd say that's one thing I really miss, is for years of my life, a touchstone, a touch point in my life were kind of the Christmas circuit. Well, you know, a couple days before Christmas, we go see these relatives, and then these relatives come to us. I remember my mother's brother and my uncle. One Christmas, you know, we'd switch it off. One Christmas, they'd come to our place. The next Christmas, we'd go to theirs. They lived in town, but, you know, they'd switch off hosting, so it didn't always fall on one person. But that's long over. Yeah, my uncle's been gone 15 years, not quite. My grandmother on that side, his mother's been gone just over 15 years now. Of course, my dad's gone. Yep. Funny how those memories are. Melancholic is a really good word for it. They do bring me comfort, even pleasure. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate, I wish you could really appreciate when we have family, when we do. But I know that no child does. I mean, we're happy to see them, but until you lose something, you just really can't appreciate it not being there. That's what I mean. That we had this system, you know, of our holiday visiting, and it was, you know, through school, ups and downs, through breakups with girlfriends, and through jobs and everything. It was always like, well, at least you're going home for Christmas. Watching the James Bond marathons with my dad was a touch point, you know, or the Rocky films, not necessarily on holidays, but, you know, if that was ever on and I was at home, we'd always sit down and watch them together and get drunk. You know, it just, you know, no matter what else was happening in life, you could do those things, and it made you feel better. It brought you back. I guess that's kind of where I've been. Maybe why I've been quiet lately, is I'm been coming to terms with some things, and it's not bad, it's just the passage of time. Realizing that the people and the places that I grew up with are not permanent. I mean, we know that intellectually, but I don't know that emotionally we do until they go away. And of course, when they do, it's an opportunity to make new memories and new special places. So it's good. It is. It's good that life is change. If it were static, if it were constant, that would be torture. That would be hell, frankly. We need change. We need growth. It's just a shame that to have something new, oftentimes something old has to go away to make room for it. Yeah. Again, I'm not sad, just very contemplative. It's probably why I've been doing videos on more external matters and less personal matters. It's a good way to divert my mind. It's been a lot lately, and it will continue to be a lot, because I'm quickly approaching that point when I'm part of the older generation of family and friends. Not the, you know, elderly yet, but kind of the older working age group, you know, that 40 to 60. And generally I'm ready for it. In some ways I've been geared for that more my entire life. I've always been a person that would prefer to find their own way and not really keen to listen to other people to tell me what to do. I've very rarely turned to other people to figure out what my next step in life ought to be. But that can also be a lonely thing. I find that sometimes I'm so busy listening to other people and doing what I can to help them that sometimes I neglect myself. Yeah, and that can come back to bite you sometimes, you know. It's either that or just the frickin' heat's getting to my brain. Literally a month of 100-degree plus weather isn't good. Last month we actually ended up having to go get a small, just cheap little window unit to stick in our bedroom because the house air conditioner was just running non-stop. And even at that, it didn't feel like it was quite cool enough in our bedroom to sleep comfortably. My wife and I both like to be quite chilly when we sleep. So we decided to shut the bedroom door and just run that little one and, keep the main air conditioner slightly higher to save money. And happy to report, the little air conditioner costs like $180, and the first month it's already saved us like $40 in electric bill. So, yeah, like 6 months of using it will pay for itself and then some. So that was a good call. But yeah. So for those keeping score, I'm gonna go with October, favorite month, followed by May, followed by December. Not to be a little cliche there, but I don't know. What's yours? Like I said, I didn't really have a topic for this video, but I felt like I needed to give you a black box. And more just housekeeping stuff. All the cats are fine. Odie, the kitten, he's no longer the kitten. He's a year and we got him a year and a month ago, so he's a year and about 3 months old. He was about 6 weeks when we got him. He's fine. I don't think he realizes that humans aren't cats because he was actually a foundling. They found him like the day he was born. I don't know if his mother got hit or something. So he was literally bottle fed by the shelter. So yeah, he just sees humans as cats or cats as humans. He has zero fear of humans at all. On the other hand, he definitely doesn't care for it when humans aren't in the room. He needs to be in the room with one of us at all times. If he gets shut up in a room, he's not a fan. He doesn't spaz out and scratch the door. He just cries so plaintively and so sad, like he's been left behind. So we usually have to keep one of us with him. He's fine. He also likes sleeping right on your face. But that's all normal there. Been wanting to go and do some more shooting, but it's obviously heat. It's not possible. We crept out a couple of weeks ago and did the cabin for a couple of hours before the heat was just too much. But that was the coolest we've had, and it was like 90 degrees. So when it's this hot, 100. You don't want to be out there, especially handling guns themselves that are hot and black. What's really fun there too is if you go to shoot them and you try to let them cool off, they won't do it. Like setting a black gun in the sun, it'll probably actually heat itself up. During the Winter War in Finland, they would have their KP-31 submachine guns, the Suomis, and they would have a couple of barrels with them, and when the barrels would get too hot, they would pull them off because they were pretty much quick change. You just flipped the lever and twisted, and then they would just plunge them vertically into the snow to cool them off. Probably not great for your barrel's longevity, but in a combat situation, who gives a fuck? And it was a way to keep firing their submachine guns at the Russians. I don't know why I said that, it's just a fun little fact. Speaking of, you know, I did those 2 big videos, one on the MiGs, one on the Sukhois. It took a lot of time, but it was a lot of fun. Finally got that. It gave me a chance to get them down and dust them and do that anyway. And after that, I think I mentioned it in that video, but I thought about doing British. I actually really wanted to do a British video for like a year, but it's just a daunting thing. But I finally just buckled down and did it. Haven't published it yet, but I did record. I completed a full video on the RAF, and I'm about 80-85% complete on a video for the Royal Navy. Now both of them are about their aircraft, specifically their jet aircraft. I didn't want to get into all the pistons, not right now. That's a different shelf. These are me getting the shelves, taking everything out, dusting them, that kind of stuff. So this was already enough of an effort. I started it Friday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I'm still, like I said, got a little bit left to do on the Royal Navy. Plus, I need to put everything back up. That's the real deal. When the video's done, it'd be great to just snap your fingers and put everything right back in its place. It don't work that way. So even after I'm done with the video, it's still several hours of being very careful to put everything back and not break or drop anything. And even when I'm very careful, that's the new air conditioner going. Even when I'm very careful, something always happens. Always. It's inevitable. You're moving around 20 models. Something's going to hook on something. You're going to trip. You're going to put it on a shelf, but it's going to be slightly crooked and fall off the stand. I've had this one stupid Harrier that does not want to sit on its stand. It keeps tumping over. Luckily, it hasn't fallen on the floor. It's just fallen on the shelf, but still. It's one reason I definitely like the Corgi and Hobby Masters more. They're pretty durable for what they are. So yeah, I've been doing aircraft videos again. Didn't do those for a while. Let's see if this swing still creaks. Bet it does. See how much louder it is? I don't know why the yard one's much quieter. But yeah, the airplanes kind of come and go. There hasn't been much new to talk about. I did get a couple of new models finally, which inspired me. And I kind of go through phases, you know. For a while, did Star Wars stuff. I actually have some new one of those to get to when I'm in kind of the mood. And then for a while, did the Predator things. Got a couple of new of those too. In fact, I've got a whole video unpublished on that. But you know, it's kind of nice. That's the whole point of this personal channel. It's just whatever is distracting me or interesting me at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of ready for this summer to end. Go down and see family some. Go do some shooting. Don't know. What do you have any plans for? Anything going on? Can't say anything. We have anything big on the horizon. No new cool guns coming in. Nothing much new from Switzerland. There's 1 or 2 more batches coming, but nothing extraordinary. Today we did drive about 30 minutes and picked up a few guns from a friend and fellow dealer. Nothing crazy. A couple of Mausers, an SKS, a couple of pistols, a Russian Makarov in there, a Walther. I mean, good stuff that'll do well, but nothing super duper to get excited about, and probably nothing that'll really make for a good Mishaco channel video, because it's just a little too mundane. But that's okay. Really what we need to do now on Mishaco is just wrap up the M77, the Zastava finish up the SAM-5, the Pioneer gun, and that we've been testing those for a good while, several months. Things to do, things to do. Hopefully the ammo situation improves. Still pretty hard to get it, and when you find that, it's still pretty pricey. I'm sure things will get more enthusiastic when it gets cool. Seems like when you get those days and you wake up and there's that nice brisk cool bite in the air, or in the evenings when you can open your windows and let the fresh air in, it gets me invigorated. Heck, I even like it if you're near enough to high school or whatever and you hear them playing football on a Friday night. Going back to the whole youth nostalgia thing. Or heck, even hearing if there's like a rent house down the road with college students and hearing them have a party. Some people maybe get annoyed about the noise. It just reminds me, we used to do that, and kind of nice to hear younger people having fun, you know what I mean? Even if I just sit on my porch and be a grumpy old man with cats. But I do like hearing life around me, people around me. I like hearing people enjoying themselves and whatnot. I don't like misery. I don't like people in strife. And I truly don't understand people that do. People that want to spread the misery. Frogs and cicadas are definitely out. I mean, I'm sitting out here, it's probably 80 degrees, and good God, 3 a.m., whatever time it is. You could be out here completely naked with nothing at all on, and it'd still be hot. Times like these, I miss having a swimming pool. We had one growing up. Some of the time with friends. A lot of my friends would work till 10 or 11 at night and then come over to my place, and they'd bring food and smoky treats over, and, you know, nothing crazy, but maybe 6-pack of beer or something, and a dozen of us would just hang out and listen to music and swim in the pool and goof off. Summer's good for the nostalgia. It's a good thing. Makes you appreciate the good family and good friends. And it wasn't all good, of course. Nothing in life ever is. But I choose to remember the good and kind of let the bad just wash away after time. What's the point of hanging on? You know what I mean? But that said, the swing is not going to quit creaking. And I'm tired. I'm gonna head it in, but yeah, wanted to give you a Blackbox. I'm here, like I said, got a big British video coming for you soon, and then I'll finish up the Navy one in the next week or two, and got a couple other things coming in, but I think the next big Hobby Master releases are coming in like December. I don't know what Corgi's doing. They haven't announced jack shit in a while, so I don't know. And as far as the Master replicas, the ones that are selling off Eagle Moss stuff, I did a video on that Stargate F302. That was definitely one I thought was cool. I still don't know if they're going to do new stuff or they're just selling off existing Eagle Moss. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It is neat that they have done some unreleased ones, like the Riemann Scorpion Fighter. That one I have on order. Surprisingly, I haven't received a ship notice. Kind of surprised about that, but oh well. The fun is kind of in waiting. No big deal. Can't tell you what, they're faster, even though they're in the UK. Somehow I still get shit from them faster than I did from Eagle Moss, who was in like Pennsylvania. They were slow in shipping. Just never get in a hurry. That's the best thing to do. But no, you know, excited there. It's kind of been fun to get back into aeroplanes. Yeah. Yep. I think I'm going to do another video on the American Century Series jets next. F-100, F-101 Voodoo. There's a new single-seat Voodoo coming out from Hobbymaster. They've never done a single seat before. The F-102 and the F-106, the Darts, the Delta, the Dagger. The Thud. I love the F-105. And then the F-104. I've got a good number of starfighters because so many people used them. I don't know. I guess you could also count the F-110, the Spectre, you know, the Air Force's initial designation for the F-4 Phantom. That kind of counts. And heck, why not the F-111 Aardvark if we're doing that? But lots of stuff to do. Kind of cycle through them, and by the time I go through all of them, it's time to kind of start back over. I wish more die-cast ships were made. I really, really do. I like ships a lot, but it's just not a big market. It's like space. There's just, you can get space shuttles galore, but that's about it. You can't really even find capsules, and if you do, they're Apollo, Mercury, and Gemini, especially Gemini, forget it. And Soyuz, Vostok, no. It's a shame. But, things to do. And I definitely want to do more music videos. I just haven't had the time. Those take a lot of time to do, and a lot of editing. And I ran into a small computer glitch that I had to work out. Nothing, it just had to do with timing and syncing, but still, it was annoying. But I'd like to eventually do that. I did get myself a new pair of headphones. I've been using kind of a cheap pair that I use wireless for my work, and that's that. But I've always liked Bose as a brand, and I finally bought myself a new pair of Bose Bluetooth, and been enjoying them. They're quite nice. The noise canceling is good. I might do a review of those one day. It's kind of hard to review sound, though, frankly. But yeah, that's kind of my it's way too hot to sleep, middle of August ramblings. Haven't really been keeping up with the news too much. I don't really want to hear about a lot of the shit they're going on about. I mean, at the end of the day, I've got my own life to manage and can sometimes barely manage that. So, oh well. But I do hope everyone's doing well. I'll come back and be perkier when I don't feel like a wilted lettuce salad. But maybe I'll get some new gun news. Maybe we'll get some new stuff in from Master Replicas or Hobby Master. Maybe Corgi will pop out from whatever rock they've been hiding under. I do like Corgi. They do some neat things. Have you got any new models? Let me know. But with that, I'll let you go today. Just wanted to say, hey, I'm here. All's well. Just trying to survive the second bit of August, and hoping by Labor Day can get out and go do a cookout with the family. I probably can. Should be cool enough by then. And who guess? Stay cool, and this is Misha. Catch you very soon next time.